goodness for YouTube, because now I can do so much, right?
Mhm.
Um, and so, you know, like when you go through videos, like first you look at something and it could be like, oh, I don't like the way this guy looks, so I like you go to the next one, and then you click on one, and then like the guy's like, or girl, you know, whoever is like, hey, welcome, this is how we're gonna, you know, you're like, okay, that's not it. But then you find someone that like, okay, they have a good voice, like I can listen to them, and they're like, okay, they're too complicated. Okay, nope, next. So where were kind of those filters that you were looking for to say, okay, that connects with me?
That, thank you for phrasing the question that way. I think that I
Yes.
was able to narrow it down more to like
Yes.
how that worked. Yeah. So for me personally, when I was going through all the YouTube videos
Mm-hmm.
and even like the Discord groups that I was in,
Mm-hmm.
I filtered it through not only like can I resonate with them, but more so are they able to break it down simply enough for me to understand?
Mm.
So when you mentioned like the word complicated,
Yeah.
that definitely was a big one. Of course, like coming as a newbie, everything's pretty complicating
Sure.
and you don't understand anything.
Yes.
So of course you have to put in your own due diligence to understand at least the basic terms or the basics of trading, you know, before you get into all of like the nitty gritty. So yeah, as I was going through the videos, some people just either over explained or some people didn't explain it enough, and
Mm-hmm.
also like their tone, some people are a little bit more monotone, and I like to have inflection when I listen to people
Mm-hmm.
because I just feel like we're having more like a conversation, because if you're talking like a robot like this, then it's
Right.
like kind of boring, you know, and I don't think anyone, well, at least for me, I didn't vibe with it that well, you know.
Right.
So there's those two things, and then also the third thing too was like going back to like the whole strategy part of it. If I was watching like a video and I tried it myself and it didn't work for me, then I would kind of stray away from watching those influencers
Mm-hmm.
or being part of those groups, and I'll find other people that I'm able to like do my trading style with.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's how I, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, welcome back to another episode of Trader Triggers. All right, so the clip I just played is from an interview Leeloo did with one of their customers who found success with their funded accounts, with the funded accounts that they offer, right? So if you want to see the full interview, the link will be in the description below. But I like this part of the interview because trying to learn how to trade can be an extremely confusing and overwhelming endeavor. And I know for a fact that you can definitely learn how to trade from the free information that's on the internet, right? Without paying for a course or reading a book, without paying for a coach or a mentor. The internet has all of the information you need to be successful. However, while the internet has all of the information, it actually has too much information in terms of what you need to know to make consistent income from the financial markets. Technically, all you really need to know is how to place orders, the orders that you want to place, right? However you want to execute a trade, you need to know how to do that, how to place the orders to be able to do that. And there's a handful of ways of going about placing orders, right? And you also need to know or have a way to analyze the market in a way that you can participate with consistency. And that's really all there is to it. Now, the hard part and what the rest of it comes in is going to be with psychology. Your psychology is going to take up a most of, you know, how you're going to the results that you're going to get in these markets. And in my opinion, from my experience, the personal psychological part of this business is only resolved through trial and error. You're going to need to try out different things to see what's best for helping you to overcome your personal hurdles. Now, the technical side of this business is simple and actually takes the least amount of work, right, comparatively to the psychological side of it. And that's, you know, from my opinion and the opinions of many others who have heard give more weight to the psychological part of trading versus the technical side, or the fundamental side, which is still technical because you're looking at data points that are external from you, right? But we usually end up making it more complicated than it has to be. And this is why I created the Ultimate Trader's Guide. There's a lot of noise on the internet, and it can be really confusing because everyone has an opinion, right? And between all of those opinions, you will often find contradiction. So, who do you believe in? Most people in a position of influence project their beliefs as absolute truths, as if their experiences is going to be exactly the same as the person that they're talking to on the other end of whatever they're projecting from. So their audience, right, the masses that are watching their videos or listening to their podcasts or listening to their, whatever audio, other forms of audio clips, or reading their blogs or whatever, right? When most influencers project what they believe to be true, they project it as if the audience is going to have that same exact experience. But that's just not the case. That's not how this works. Everyone is coming into this shared space with a different background. So for you, you just believe whoever makes the most sense to you. But most importantly, you believe yourself. For instance, maybe you have an idea based on something that you see on the charts, right? However, out of all the people that you look up to or the people that you trade with, you've never heard this idea expressed by anyone else. So you decide to tell your favorite influencer or mentor about your unique idea, or maybe you tell your trading partner. And what typically follows is your idea is shot down because it's not something that they recognize as carrying any truth. Typically, the person with the new idea would just trash it right there, right? They're like, okay, so-and-so, that this person that I look up to, they can't see what I'm saying, or they saying it's not a good idea, it doesn't work. So let me just forget about that and go back to what I was doing before. But let's take a look at it from this lens. All ideas that are known to be common knowledge in this day and age was once a brand new idea that no one ever thought of. Also, contrary to popular belief, all possible ideas have not been brought into the reality yet. Humans have been around for a very long time, yet people continue to come up with new ways of doing things better, more efficiently, and fresh ideas are generated that pushes the needle further towards a new level of evolution, for our species. I mean, as long as we have problems that are constantly pursuing solutions, to, the possibility of a new idea will always remain, right? I'm gonna say that one more time because I kind of messed it up. But as long as we are constantly pursuing solutions to the problems that we see, the possibility of a new idea will always remain the same, or will always remain. So, how will you know the true value of your unique idea? Just like those with unique ideas in the past, the only way for you to know the true value of your unique idea is to put it into action for yourself, against the resistance, and see what comes out of that. But I say all that to stress the importance of believing in yourself. And you may need to quiet the noise from all the chatter on the internet to hear the gems delivered to you from the universe. So leading back into the Ultimate Trader Guide and why I created the Ultimate Trader's Guide, I handpicked the most impactful content that I found all over the internet, and I share that inside of the Ultimate Trader's Guide. Plus some additional resources that I created myself, right? Now, let's talk about how you can pick out the gems from all the noise that's going to serve you the best. In the clip that I played, they gave you good tips in that interview with how to find the best ways or the best resources for you. But I want to dive a bit deeper into how to know what to listen to and how to know what information is going to best serve you. So when you're looking for how to learn this business from sources on the internet, I would say to start with the delivery of the messenger. This is going to be easier with content that is in video form or audio versus, any written form of content. of course, right? Verbal and body language gives us clues for the people that we vibe with naturally. So if there's something about the person that you're watching that you just don't like how they're saying whatever that they're saying, or you don't like their mannerisms or whatever, then trust that. That may not be the person that is best for you to learn from. The good thing about this crowded space is that there are plenty of people saying the same things, so you have a huge selection to choose from. Find the person that you vibe with and take what resonates with you the most. So let's kind of pivot for a minute and talk about one thing that I'm personally not too fond of myself, which is absolute ideas. I talk about the duality of reality a lot, and the way that I see it as nothing is just ever one way, right? There are no absolutes. That's my personal opinion. I believe only seeing one side of something is a great way of setting yourself up for disappointment or failure. For example, how limiting is it for a trader to only read the bull side of the market? When the shorts start hitting the bid and they really turn up the aggression, a linear perspective tends to lead to behaviors where the end result is blown accounts or missing the move back in the perma bull's favor, and a whole heap of frustration, right? Seeing the potential for multiple outcomes from the present moment allows us, from my personal experience, and that allows us to develop a plan for each scenario, effectively bulletproofing our trading business. Now, with your open mind, you will find benefit to remaining open to people that you disagree with. Opposing ideas tend to carry gems with them that could be a missing piece or add to what you already know to be true. Opposing ideas can also trigger you into deeper thought on ideas beyond the surface, right? Gaining further understanding and removing unknowns that could trigger emotional setbacks. For example, this just hit me. We had a perfect example of that this morning, where the market was kind of slow before Jay Powell got up and did his thing, his testimony. We had Powell testimony at 10, right? And if you would have had a perma bull perspective, meaning you're only looking for the long, you're only looking to buy low and sell high, and to get your profits from, there were plenty of times with this price action this morning that would have triggered you into a trade that you would have been completely wiped out. Your trades would have been completely wiped out, and it would have been hard for you to actually find the bottom, right? So that's just one example. But other than that, I know I've been enlightened by ideas and opinions that contradicted mine and encouraged me to look further into what I believe to be true. And that's with trading and other areas of life outside of the markets. For instance, I used to believe that a healthy diet required some sort of animal protein every day, until I was met with the concept of a raw vegetarian diet. That challenged my original belief, that I picked up from family and other trusted sources. We're just going to call them trusted sources. And instead of ignorantly pushing the opposing idea away, I looked deeper into it with an open mind. Now, having the internal motivation to be as healthy as I can be, in my adult life, that encouraged me to go ahead and look deeper into this opposing idea that I came with, because maybe I didn't have all the answers, right? Now, I didn't just adopt this new idea right away, right? My beliefs on what to eat, when to eat, and how much of whatever I deemed was the thing to eat, how much of it to eat, that didn't change overnight. In fact, it took years of off and on research, trial and error, before I came to what I know now to be the way for me to eat, which also led to me overcoming chronic illness It helped me to overcome being sickly as far back as I can remember. Like I used to get sick at least 3 times a year before I found a diet that works for me. And one of the biggest things for me is I no longer suffer from having seasonal allergies from the pollen, or seasonal allergies to pollen and other things that I was diagnosed with being allergic to when I was a child. Now, that's just an example. I want to make it clear here that I'm not, a raw vegetarian, by any means, and I'm not promoting any particular diet, right? I'm just giving this as an example of how impactful keeping an open mind could be when you are approached with ideas that challenge what you currently know to be true. Right. So for me, with this example, I actually found a happy place somewhere in the middle. The whole duality thing where you have one extreme and then you have the opposite of that extreme. And then you find whatever's true to be, whatever's true to you are best for you somewhere in between those two extremes. But what I'm getting at here is the impact that an open mind can have on your path to success. Even if that opposing belief is towards something that you have strong emotional beliefs against. So while you're learning from other people, I would recommend to not try to find all of the answers on the internet. At some point, you're going to have to get in the game and take your own bruises. You're going to have to get in the game and get your own experience and learn what works for you and what doesn't work for you just through simple trial and error. This is where you're going to gain the most valuable experiences. I think we get too caught up on trying to avoid discomfort of mistakes that we go overboard with trying to find the perfect solution or shortcut to succeed at whatever we're trying to succeed at. But the thing is, you're going to run into resistance and difficulties no matter what you do. That's just how life works. And high temperature and high pressure makes diamonds. And this is more than just a cliche that everyone likes to regurgitate. In my own personal experience, going back to my personal experience here, I made the most improvements when under conditions that virtually put my back against the wall, while I was also feeling the pressure from the market and feeling heat from my thoughts, my own personal thoughts of how my trade results were going to appear to people close to me and everyone that tunes in to the many outlets of MV3 Trader. I post everything publicly, which is in no way an easy thing to do. And I've been doing that since I started trading years ago. But making it through those conditions, those moments, and I want to stress that moments there because it's just temporary. Now, making it through that, obviously it doesn't feel good when the heat is on and the pressure is being applied, but it doesn't last forever. But what does last forever is the bond that you have with what you gained from the experience that will allow you to shine bright, increasing your value as a member of the few that were determined enough to make it through to the other side, just like a diamond. So instead of looking for the A to Z guide to becoming profitable as a trader or investor, it would better serve you to use the knowledge that others have shared on the internet as a starting point for your journey. Sort of like a map on a map on a long road trip. The map will show you the direction to your destination and like all of the natural terrain along your the road, but it won't show you that pothole that may destroy your tires or the deer getting ready to cross the road up ahead. Your awareness and developed skills will dictate how you navigate those obstacles, more so than the driving instructor in the passenger seat. So on that note, in the description and the show notes, depending on how you're listening to this episode of Trader Triggers, I've included links to some of my favorite YouTubers in the trading niche, This is just a short list of my favorites, but I share much more of what I see to be the most valuable content, like I mentioned before, in the Ultimate Trader's Guide, along with some of the best information that I have found from the resources on the internet, or from the different sources on the internet. And that's not just for trading. The resources in the Ultimate Trader's Guide are for various ways of making money outside of a regular job. What I share in the Ultimate Trader's Guide can be used for additional income or to replace your main source of income that can help you progress from selling your time just to survive to producing the income in a fulfilling way so you can enjoy life on your terms. And of course, I have some resources I created there as well, all in one convenient location, right? So on that note, I appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in to another classic episode of Trader Triggers. As always, if you found this valuable, go ahead and tap that like button and let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you're listening to this off YouTube on one of your typical podcast platforms, remember to leave a 5-star rating and a review for bonus points. And until next time, trade it easy. MV3 Traders Futures Trade Radio is brought to you by the Ultimate Trader's Guide, your one-stop shop for the most valuable income-producing information on the internet. Go to ultimatetradersguide.net to learn more. Link in the description below.